Good afternoon on this strangely warm, strangely warm autumn day. We're getting fluctuations of weather. One day it's really cold, then the sun comes out, then it rains, and then today it's about 17 degrees. Yeah, very strange weather. Anyway, random live, nothing planned as such. But find it a bit weird, people talking about grief and almost being very judgmental about how people should behave with memories of their deceased, where they should go, where they shouldn't go. I just think to sometimes I do wonder if these women who do lives for 4, 5, 6 hours a day, albeit by proxy, because the host is one lazy buffalo who who's just in it to make a dollar. She really doesn't care who she hurts. Um, they're sitting there judging people's grief, and I'm just wondering, has humanity really gone for a toss? What is it? What is it in these women that makes them totally, well, I'd say heartless, because I think you really need to know the people that you're talking about. I mean, in real life, you need to know them to be able to even have that discussion about their deceased loved one, let alone, make judgments. Even when we know the people who've lost a loved one, we should not be making judgments about them. You could potentially have a discussion that should help them, because, grief doesn't really have a linear timeline, and everyone deals with it differently. But one thing I do know is, when you're discussing someone's family who have lost someone very close, um, you could potentially be triggering something within that family that is very uncomfortable. But what's really sad is they're mocking their comfort. So if a family goes to a place which was dear to their loved one that is no longer with them, they're actually mocking their sentiments and emotions for that loved one. Who says that you cannot go back to somewhere where the majority of your memories are with that loved one who's no longer with us and not find comfort? Why is the assumption that all those memories have to be bad ones? To learn how to live with grief, we have to we have to let those good memories wash all over us. And life is always up and down, up and down. And there will be good memories and there will be bad memories. But people like to focus on the good memories. And there is a comfort when you return to that place where you've either spent time with that loved one that's no longer with us, I I can actually speak from personal experience. You know, I go back I go back to St Albans often, even if it's just driving through it, to go somewhere else, and I get a lot of comfort. I'd be horrified if someone said to me, "Oh, how can you? How can you find comfort in that place because, you lost your loved one there?" Good afternoon, Sri Jaji. How are you? All is well, yes, all is well. I was just a bit, you know, MC Blueberry. Hi. Hi, MC Blueberry. Welcome to this random live. And it is very random and it is a bit spontaneous. And I was just talking about grief and how I'm finding some conversations that I'm hearing uh, from people who are judging people's grief. Having gone through many bereavements in the last few years, I just find that people judging other people's grief and loss is just, I think it beggars belief. It really does beg a belief. I lost my niece in December. We're coming up to a year. And it's mixed feelings. I think I know for the first few months, I couldn't even visit that area, even though it's a shortcut to get to my brother's. And I used to take the long way round because I'd find myself very overwhelmed. But of late, I've actually deliberately I've been going through that area, and now I feel the warmth. We've actually got a memorial bench, like her lovely husband, he and the rest of the family, they put a memorial bench down for her. And I do find myself, sometimes I just park my car, and I sit there. So, hi, Rani. Shijaji is saying, if anyone mocking the deceased and their loved ones, it's the worst. Yes. And the thing is, you know, I'm trying to understand. I am trying to understand why. Is nothing out of bounds? Is nothing out of bounds for these people just for the sake of a few views, or just because they're potentially running out of anything of substance to talk about? So now yes, if a family goes to Shimla, they're entitled to, and they're entitled to feel happy with the good memories. And guess what? They're entitled to feel sad not because of the bad memories, but because their loved one is no longer there. There are landmarks they'll come across that either make us smile, there's always one, isn't there? I should have actually, so I'm now going to have to keep an eye on comments because there's going to be idiots like this. And this is where you can just tell that even, so these people, because now, and I'll tell you how it is working. I've done lives before and I've not had comments like that. And this is old host dear doing what she does best. But she can carry on. It really doesn't make an iota of difference to me because I will speak And I will speak up every time they cross a line. The soul is always around their loved ones, guarding, blessing, and protecting them. Absolutely, Sri Jaji, absolutely. You know, I think she's probably coming in with the fake IDs to make those stupid comments, and she's been doing that for about 4 years. She can deny it all she likes. So these mocking ones are inviting Pitradosh. Yeah. I just, from a humanitarian perspective, have these trolling channels, and it is a trolling channel, have they no boundaries? Have they got no boundaries? Right? It's just, and I just think, where is this all going to end? How far are they going to stoop to hurt one family? But this whole constantly targeting the deceased, that's what she does. But I'm not going to focus too much on her, because she really, one, she doesn't deserve the attention, because she loves the attention, and that's why she does it. Don't know how the host doesn't understand what all the have happened with her till date. Oh, she doesn't understand because she's a narcissist. But I just think, have some respect for their memories, for that family's memories of their lost, of the family member that they've lost. Have some respect of the hardship a woman has gone through to bring up 3 very young children. One was a baby, right? And she's done it. Just why, oh why can it not be that the discussion is based on what they see and not on all the assumptions? So many assumptions being made, and all this ground zero reporting and then coming up with crap, unsubstantiated, just for views. I am telling you, there's 1,001 ways that you could have healthy discussions. Yeah, if you want to make that family the topic of your discussion, do it. But getting so personal all the time, constantly, it grates. It grates. And then taking so much pleasure from mocking them. They are just a normal family going about their life as they want to, and they're young, and they're still evolving. There's a young married couple, and don't get me wrong, I don't watch them too often, but every now and then, maybe I'll hear something in somewhere, and I'll go and watch. They're just a family trying to be a family. Let them just be who they are. And you know what? There's a girl they're targeting, right? A single mother. And they're absolutely, this one channel, detrimental in her relationship. Not only her relationship with her estranged in-laws, but also very detrimental in her relationship that is growing and evolving with the new member of the family. Right, let me read this. The host doesn't stop the ones who are deliberately raising the deceased topics and then puts all rubbish quotes on a community that believe in karma. Yeah, fed up of her hypocrisy, but there's a saturation point. I think most people have seen that her hypocrisy, I mean, she is the epitome of hypocrisy, basically. She says one thing, she does another thing. She's a blatant liar. Yeah, but she has no boundaries. See, nothing is off limits for her because to her, she's got a few people up there. She's at work pretending to look after people who are vulnerable, mentally vulnerable, and she gets them to do her talking. What rubbish! And then if you have got people in place, make them responsible. So much for saying, "Oh, I have a disclaimer at the beginning." Well, stick to it. If you've got rules, stick to them. I heard they even spoke about the mom not teaching manners to a 3.5-year-old child. Now, and this is where when people get carried away, right? They don't know when they've crossed a line. They do not know when they've crossed a line. Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry, Sriyaji. I think honestly, it was just random because I was so appalled and I need to let it out. And sometimes, you know what it's like now. Festivals are beginning, and we've got certain occasions. I can't always get to Anul's live in the evening. Oh, and one other point I want to make. You're calling that live the night live. Well, it's your host that does night lives, right? So maybe think about your own hypocrisy as well. And all this talk of double standards. I could counter absolutely everything you've said, but I don't want to give any of you that importance. It's as simple as that. And I've said to Preeti today in her comments that just because one or two of us might go quiet, right? And that could be for many, many reasons. Don't ever think that we are not by your side. And every time a line is crossed, you'll find us standing with you. So I don't know why these women seem to take, especially if I'm saying need a bit of peace. Come on, let's all be peaceful. Come on, let's find some middle ground. Support whomever you want to support. That is your prerogative. But stop coming out of your lines, stay in your lane. Stop getting personal. Keep attacking each other personally. Oh, geez. I'm as guilty. But what I've decided now is, in spite of my language, which they keep bringing up, and there's a very self-righteous lady who's running a sort of parallel live, keep saying about, oh, bad language, bad language. But my bad language was actually a reaction to an action. I mean, I could publish what was put on my put in my comments, but I don't want to. I don't want to give the host the satisfaction. She's been doing this for the last 4 years. Yeah, Ronnie. Yeah, they're not going to stop. Let them. They're actually being part of. I like to poop. Jasmine, do you want me to block you? But I do I do recognise your ID from over there. I think you've made a typo, haven't you? Oh, Jasmine, that made me laugh, although I shouldn't have laughed. But anyway, yeah, they're not going to stop. They are equally, as far as I'm concerned now, they are equally complicit in, people keep talking about karma, and I'll say it in Punjabi, you know what? ਉਹਦੇ ਕਰਮ ਕੁੜੀ ਦੇ ਕਰਮ ਤਾਂ ਹਲਕੇ ਹੋਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਚਾੜੀ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ. And they're doing it for whom? They're doing it for someone who stabs everyone in the back. Jasmine, can you explain, please, what you're... But you did make me smile. But yeah, You can use my language as a smokescreen to deflect your own actions. It doesn't make any difference to me, I can tell you that now for nothing. But, you know, whether we're visible or we're not visible on either, say, if I'm not visible here on my own channel, or if I don't attend live, be it a Nors or if Richer ever does one, doesn't mean that we've disappeared and we've given up on Preeti. We'll never give up on her, ever. And it doesn't mean we've forgotten everything that you women are doing and saying on a daily basis. Never. You know, I can't even repeat some of the stuff that Digra says. And I actually, I have no qualms. I will take full names here, right? Yes, Jasmine did make us smile. So I have no qualms. I will take names openly and readily. I have absolutely no qualms. And I sometimes think, you know, even her, she goes off on one and she doesn't stop. And I just even want to turn that into humour now, because she actually believes everything she says. It's almost like she's obsessed. She crossed the line yesterday, but there's so much crossing of the lines. I just, it's okay, Jasmine. I know you're a bit of a nutcase. Yeah, you're the one who thought I was, I'm sure you're the one who thought I was drunk the day I went up on Anul's live when she disappeared for a coffee. That was hilarious too. Anyway, so this was just, honestly, this was random and it was very spontaneous. Because I was really, honestly, my heart sank. And you start bringing people's dead relatives. I think they forget that the people that they're targeting have a heart, right? And then they try to counteract it by saying, like, you know, sometimes, again, I wonder if this is like a school playground. Yeah, but he said this and she said this, and get over it, move forward. Start looking to the future, right? And if you really support the people that you support, keep giving them the strength that they need, either side of the fence, right? But try not to bring people down. What this whole new thing about, oh, so and so said this, and look at that sport. You know what? We're going to bring her down. We're going to abuse them. We're going to troll them. No one's going to stop. We're all very, very strong women here. We will not stop. And I just, it's Diwali, right? Start doing your preparations. Start doing what you're supposed to be doing and enjoy it. Just, you know, I sort of beggars belief. It really does beggars belief. And I'll say here yesterday, I'll say now rather, I did listen to a particular live yesterday, and call me soft or call me stupid. And I heard a couple of, you know, life stories being narrated. And I'm not very fond, obviously, for obvious reasons, I'm not fond of one of the ladies that narrated her story. But when something resonates with you, there's something within us, almost by default, or automatically, there's an empathy. And that empathy comes from Yeah, been there, felt that. And I'm not just saying this, and I know, and I know people all go, "Well, she's lost her marbles. You know, what is she doing? How can she be so soft? It looks like she's gone all out for forgiveness." No, it's not all. It's not about. It's not about forgiving. But when you've been through, not, I actually resonated with both, and that's the sad bit. Unfortunately, I resonated with both. And I thought, "Oh my god, I just wanna give you a hug." And then I thought, "Oh, no, hang on. No, no, no." One, because, you know, I just I don't wanna go into that space and that energy. But yeah, my heart, it was almost like reaching out, and I'm not someone who just says it for effect. Um, but there was something in me, like, thinking, "Oh my god, I f I feel that, I've felt it, I've been there." And then, obviously the other side of the coin, is having gone through it myself as well. So both stories resonated. Um, and you just think, see, they're human beings. They are human beings. And so when you've gone through something as a human being and you hear somebody's story, whether they're friend or foe, I think humanity says to us, "Oh, you know what? This is really terrible." And you don't actually want another human being to feel that way. And this is why I'm finding grief mocking really inhumane, really inhumane. And I'll say this from my heart to that family. Do not let what these trolls say about your family that are no longer with you, do not let it affect you. Okay? And for everyone who's lost someone very close to them to this horrific disease, yeah, I will extend out my hugs to them. I don't care if I get battered afterwards. I really don't. You know, I've I've lost two people who were, I know that if I start talking about it, and I won't, um, I know that it hurts, but I honestly, from the depths of my heart, for every single person we lose, our grief is different and the timeline is different. And yeah, some people share their stories and it's great to share, and it can make us feel better. Some people like me, when it comes to that that disease that robbed me of my loved ones, I find it difficult to open up. I even, yeah, I just find it difficult to open up about everything it did to me. But that's me, and everyone has that choice. But there has to be a line. Can we please draw a line on not getting so carried away with it? To me, the hatred they have for this family is beyond rational. It's an irrational hatred. Um, just step back, take a step back. Humanize yourselves. I was going to say, instead of dehumanizing them, Radhe Radhe Vandana, how are you, dear? So instead of, you think you're dehumanizing that family, but you know what? In actuality, you've dehumanized yourselves. No, no, I'm not low. I'm just in no, Vandal, honestly, I'm not low. I'm just calm. I think people have just got used to listening to me being quite hyper. um, this for me is normal. All that hyper stuff, uh, Vandu is saying Radhe Radhe to everybody who's listening. Yeah. That whole, reactions, that that isn't the norm. That's the exception. This is my norm. And I want to stay normal. And I want everyone to stay normal. Have a laugh, have a joke. Yes, talk about things that are serious. And and if people are trying to be normal and they are trying to have their own conversations and their own topics, allow it. Don't mock it. Yeah, there are certain conversations I will never ever join. I might enjoy them, right? Guilty pleasure. But I know I can't join because things have been said and done that can't ever be undone. No, you have to draw a line for your own sanity. But yeah, this is like really random. So I was very disturbed, very, very disturbed by hearing grown women talk about someone's loved one and how a family should behave and react, and without giving too much away about myself, in the summer, now on the surface, I look quite healed in terms of, who I lost 4 years ago. No, I'm not. And I know for a fact I will never heal from December's loss, ever, ever. But during the summer, this was before, I used to get this like really weird urge to go and just drive down south and just go and sit where we used to go very regularly. And I don't take anyone with me, right? I don't talk about it. I even have to drive past that damn hospice. It's a hospice where, like, people have to make decisions to allow people to go. And that's really uncomfortable. That's really, really uncomfortable. You hit a real low, right? You hit a low, you choke up a bit, you park up, you have a cry. But then you carry on driving. And yeah, I drove. And then I got to a certain place. There's a small village before St Albans called Harpenden. Parked up. Again, really, really scenic villages where we lived. I sat there for a bit because we used to sit there. And then you just think of all the good memories and the funny things and all, So, and then I might go 6 months. That might be me recharging myself with the good memories because maybe I was beginning to feel a bit low. And then you come back home and you're all right and you can neither talk about him, you can laugh about him. But if someone like said to me, "Oh, I just don't know how you can even go to St Albans. I don't even know how you can go and sit in Harpenden. Oh my God, have you not got a heart? Doesn't it break you? Doesn't it this? How can you smile? How can you laugh? Are you out of your minds? Are you out of your mind? Seriously. Understand. Please understand that everybody has a heart. Everyone has gone through grief. Everybody deals with it differently. No one has the right to mock it. But I shall leave you on this note because I actually do want to leave it on a high. I'm definitely not low. I'm not low, not at all. I'm pretty chilled and I'm pretty relaxed. And And then hopefully after Diwali, yeah, we'll have some fun, lively lives. You know, I'll be going back to Annos definitely on a more regular basis. And everything will be back to normal. And again, I'll say it again, let's hit that middle ground. Keep supporting whomever you're supporting. Some may not be supporting either, neither here or there. They might not support either. That's good too. You know, this morning we're talking about Nidhi, right? Now, I stopped watching her years ago, but ultimately, she, I just watch her as entertainment, but because Amrita discusses her, right? And I love Amrita, you know I love Amrita. And our Divya, she discusses her. So I sort of got back into it. But I had to take it as entertainment, apart from when her brother was ill. And then again, you know, normal people like us, we will. Bye, Srijaji. I'm shutting up shop in a minute as well because I have got to go out. But I will give Nidhi a view. I'll put it on silent and I'll give her a view. You know why I do it? Just because she's got a child to support. Yeah, she's a bit nuts and she does some weird stuff, but she's, you know, and I'll give him a view. I'm not going to not give her a view because I just think, you know, if she's a single mother, she's trying her best. Whatever she does, who am I to judge her? I don't know her well enough. But anyway, 11 of you watching, thank you. And thank you for listening to me sort of rant as calmly as I could. I am very calm at the moment anyway. And yeah, I think I'm going to get battered for offering hugs, but that's how I am. That's who I am. I can't change who I am, and I won't change who I am because I just want to remain as human. And I've got faults. Jeez, I am so flawed. And I think, for one, you all know, I sometimes have zero control over my temper, right? Hands up. But after 4 years of trolling, and again last night, some horrible stuff she's done, I sometimes think, well, I'm entitled to lose my temper. And okay, my language wasn't the best, but I can't keep apologising for that. It is what it is. I'm not asking anyone to like me. That's who I am. That's who I am. Big hugs. Big hugs to absolutely everyone who needs it. Honestly, everyone who needs a hug. I will give them out randomly. There's only one person that I wouldn't hug because I honestly think that she just doesn't deserve it because she is full of hatred and jealousy from top to toe. But people who are genuinely hurting and are still grieving and still going through that journey, I'll say it again, friend or foe. Yeah, I will hug them. And Rani, big hug. Srijaji, big hug. And now my screen's gone blank. But on my screen, I'm also getting a bit of notification that I need to be out of the house in the next 5 minutes. So thank you for listening. I know when I close this live, by default it goes to private. When I come back, I shall make it public. So people stop moaning that the live go private. Okay? Thank you. Bye. Hugs. Big hugs.